Okay, welcome to our February staff meeting. And hi, Miss Laura, I love your mask. Thank you. If you could please put your name in the comment section so that can take attendance for those who attended live. And I use that for the raffle at the end of the meeting, or Eden or Mikey pick some names out of a hat and get gift cards. I forgot last time, but they got them, I think like last week. So I will definitely remember this time. In the comment section also, or share aloud if you'd like, what is something you love about early childhood education? So if you wanted to write that in the comment, or sorry, you want to say it out loud, you are welcome to. Miss Kayla says, seeing students achieving goals that we set for them. It's always so rewarding to see that happen. Madison E says, hanging out with kids reminds me of my youngest set of cousins who are also kids. You get to have fun with them every day, Miss Madison. Karen says their excitement, and it's sometimes over the most mundane things, and it just makes you excited about it. Katie says making connections with the kids and watching them grow. And some of them we've had from 6 weeks old, and they graduate pre-K with us, and then they join us in the school age program. So we've seen some of these itty bitties, and now they're in what, fourth grade, some of them, third grade. I don't know, however old Michael's. Somebody said watching the kids grow. Haley says being their go-to person when an issue arises and knowing they can trust you, building that relationship. Yeah. Thank you guys very much. If you want to keep writing, you're welcome to. I'd be happy to read them later. Thank you. All right. Oh, Cassidy says seeing their progress and coming out of their shells. Yeah, getting super comfortable in the classroom. Sometimes a little too comfortable in the classroom. And Amy says the aha moment when they get a concept they were struggling with, which is, I love that. I love that because you've been supporting them through it the whole time. And then here they're celebrating with you and that light bulb goes off. All right. So the super staff member of the month, the first one we'd like to congratulate is Miss Elizabeth. She has grown tremendously throughout her apprenticeship as an early childhood educator. She's supportive of her fellow infant room teachers and class. She shows great care when working with infants and toddlers and helpful and professional when addressing families during drop off and pickup. And Elizabeth is one of our apprentices. She started out really not at all familiar with the field and has truly grown as a professional. I greatly appreciate all of her efforts because that's what the apprenticeship is for, right? She has a mentor who works hard with her every day, and she's able to put that teaching into practice. And we've seen her flourish. So congratulations, Miss Elizabeth. And Miss Brenda T, we want to say congratulations to her as super staff member of the month of January. She's a thoughtful mentor and lead teacher who encourages and guides her coworkers towards success, holds her students to high expectations, and supports their individual social, emotional, and learning needs with great care. And she has flourished as an early educator and an invaluable member of Needs for Equality. She was not always an early childhood educator. Brenda started like me with much older children, and just learning the field of early childhood education is a whole different world. So she really has flourished, and we greatly appreciate her. She's a huge asset to our pre-K program. So thank you to both of those lovely individuals, and I will have their certificates and not gift cards anymore because there's too much fraud going on. So I'm doing cashola. So I'll be handing you your cash so that you get to actually use it instead of somebody already using it, putting in a fake gift card at the store. I buy it, and the person I give it to doesn't have any money. So I learned my lesson. Okay. We want to welcome to Needs for Equality, Miss Mackenzie. She is currently a flex teacher, feeling her way out, getting to know the different rooms. Mr. Paul, we want to say welcome to him. Currently, he's working with Room 5, getting to know those pre-K students, but also a flex teacher, so may be flexible in different placements. Oh, and working with school age now, learning how to ride and drive that bus, work with those school agers, and going to be part of that program as well. And Miss Tori, we want to welcome her. She's currently a flex teacher, again, feeling her way around, getting to know different classroom environments, and learning from modeling from our lead teachers and co-teachers. So we are going back to ADP because Gusto was not Miss Joyce's best friend, and it was not my best friend. And we had all these high hopes for Gusto, and it just didn't work out. So as of next payroll, so tomorrow is Gusto, but next Wednesday, Joyce will run an ADP payroll. It will send you an invite through your email so you can go in, use the email address, create your password, and you'll have access to your pay stubs. You'll have access to requesting time off, all the same things as Gusto did, but with ADP. But also, the simple IRA will be streamlined instead of me manually inputting people's distributions and our matches every time, because that is terrible work. So this one will do it for us. Again, if you have a year vested with us, you can do and join that simple IRA. You choose how much is put into your simple IRA every paycheck, and then we match 3%. So if you're looking for that retirement benefit, this is a wonderful way to go, and it's just there. So if you happen to get a raise in the next little bit and you want to do the simple IRA, take that raise amount, what it would be, and just start there. Put that into your simple IRA. Out of sight, out of mind. You were doing just fine without that raise, and that way you're building that little nest egg for yourself later on in life. So our teacher enrichment day is February 17th, and it's a Monday. We will be there from 8 to 4, and it's going to take place at a Scoba Bay Clubhouse. We usually use that for our staff meeting, our PD days, because it's nice and big. It can accommodate all of us in one big space, but we can also separate when we're doing our ITers and our ECHRs PDs. I want to make sure that everything's meaningful for you guys throughout the day. So we're still working with some TAs to come in and provide those professional development sessions for you. You will get contact hour certificates, which is pretty awesome. And you will also be able to participate in something we're going to try out is age leveled PLCs. So professional learning communities, but you're coming together with those teachers who work with the same age group as you. And that way you can collaborate. You can go over things that maybe you have specific concerns. You want to kind of pick their brains about what they might have done differently, what they have done in the past. Perhaps you want to share something awesome that you do in your learning space, and then you can bring that to the table of the PLC group that you're working with. Now, if you're a flex teacher or you're not really in a set space, join whichever age group you find most appropriate to meet your needs. So we'll go through all of that, but I wanted to make sure you were aware of what the schedule kind of looks like. It will be 8 to 4. We'll be providing you with a yummy breakfast. We will be providing you with a delicious lunch. Joyce is getting a new barbecue caterer to go ahead and provide us with some delicious stuff that day. And so it'll be a barbecue themed lunch. And if you do have any specific dietary needs and you're new to us, can you just please message one of the administrators so we know to accommodate the best we can to what your needs are. And then snacks throughout the day. I like to make sure you are well fed, lots of chocolate and candy to keep you alert, and coffee, and just making sure, oh, and bring your own cup. So BYOC. And that way you can go ahead and fill up with all the goodie drinks that we're going to have there for you. Probably a lot of coffee too. We're going to have raffles and prizes like we normally do. So the more participation, then the more raffle tickets you get. And then at the end, you can win big. So I'm very excited about that. I'm trying to find some good deals so I can get some great stuff. And we're going to send out preparation materials to everybody. I would like to do it where you know what's coming so you can come with questions, especially with the PLC groups. I want you to come with information, with questions. So your time is very valuable. And I want to make sure you use it effectively during this day, because the day flies by after we do, a training or two, we eat lunch, and then like the day is almost over. So I want to make sure that you get the most out of your day. For the ADP, Amy asked, are we going to have a new login for ADP? It will use your email address. I believe that's how we logged in the past. So if it's the same email address, it'll be the same as before. It's kind of like you're in a new company, I guess. So if you log in and you find any issues, definitely tell us or we can contact the rep. But I feel that it is like you left Sneed's Ferry Quality, went to a different job, and now you're joining Sneed's Ferry Quality, a new employee. I'm not quite sure. So I'll ask them about that. And Kayla said, if we want information from the training, can we get it? Yes. NC Pre-K and 3 school, you do have your own professional development day for the county. So we would be happy to share. Barbie says she will get you the information. So thank you to Miss Barbie. I appreciate that. And the most that I can try to record for you, though you won't get contact hours for it, at least you'll get the valuable information from the day as much as we can record and then share it if you choose to watch or not, but at least it'll be there for you. You won't miss out on that part, but you will miss out on the raffles and the good food. So I'm really sorry. Maybe you'll just be sick from the one place trainings and you'll join us. But I'm just saying, ours will be better. So I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. Spring Festival coming up. It's our first ever Spring Festival. We typically save these kind of things for the trunk or treat. We save them for our kickoff to summer, but we wanted to make sure we did something special for the community to celebrate spring. It's such a great time of year for people to be outdoors and enjoy and get to know us as a school, but also get to know the whole theme is the community partners that are out there. You'd be surprised how many families have no idea what resources are just so available to them, but they don't know how to access them. So the whole point of this Spring Festival is to bring those community partners in and in a fun environment so the kids are engaged, but the parents get something out of it. We asked many different partners to come join us, like those extracurricular activities that we bring into our school. We want our parents to see them kind of firsthand. We did this, I think it was like 2.5 years now ago, where we brought them in. They were in different classrooms. They set up their stations in each classroom, and it was kind of like get to know your child's teachers, but also get to know the community partners. So we had soccer shots, we had title therapies, move, learn, play. We were not working with mountain movers yet, but she'll come in and those community partners will be present at the Spring Festival so parents can get to know them, kind of like a vendor spot, but they'll get to know what is provided when their child's enrolled in these programs because they come to school, they do all this awesome stuff, and then they go home. The parents have no idea of the amazing things that these children are partaking in and participating in. And we pay for quite a bit of those services. So I'd like them to understand that this is the value of their child's time and the things that we bring in to kind of set ourselves apart from those other preschools and centers out there. We have also, Ruby's reached out to the Military Family Support Services, and they're working on coming to join us so they can share all those wonderful military family services that are out there that I'm sure not many military families know are out there for them to use and access. And if you know of any others that maybe your child uses in the community and you'd like to have them come and join us and share what they offer to the families in our community, that would be awesome. Just let us know. Miss Barbie's been reaching out to all our community partners that we can think of. Oh, and one place will be joining us hopefully as well. We got 2 bounce house, slide, obstacle course thingies for the kids. We're going to do face painting. If you'd like to be our face painter volunteers, please tell us because I can't do more than a heart, smiley face, and like that little colorful rainbow thing that comes with the sponge. So if you can do anything better than that and you'd like to volunteer, please let us know. We also have a cool stuffed animal. I forget the name of them, but so you like Build-A-Bear, but they're mobile. So they're coming. Parents do have to pay for the Build-A-Bear type deal, but it's going to be something different and they might take advantage of it and they'll be there for the families to enjoy. Lots of different vendors. Miss Rachel's going to reach out to all her vendor friends and see if they'd like to join us, sell their products. Have people sample their products, provide information about their services. If you are a type of vendor or you know somebody and you want to say, hey, come on, you don't have to pay a vendor fee. You're just going to set up and people will come to you and maybe they'll buy things, maybe they won't, but they're getting their name out there and they're advertising with the community. And in a big event. We're hoping it's going to be big. And food trucks. So right now we have one official food truck and I think one official coffee truck. Miss Ruby has the contact, or Mr. Roger has the contact. So we just need one more food truck. I'm hoping that we find one. If you know someone who has a food truck, I know I think it was Chelsea said that she knew somebody. So get them all in here. You know somebody, or they know somebody that knows somebody, tell them, and they can reach out to us. They can email us or they can message me on Facebook, and I'd be happy to make them one of the vendors, put them on that list, and they can join us. There are no vendor fees again, and it is a free event to the community. So everything.
Shannon,
Yes,
I spoke with the No Rules food truck, who Chelsea's um,
thank you.
significant other, and they have that weekend open, and it is
Yay.
excellent food.
All right, so we're
So,
okay.
do you want me to give you her contact information,
Yes,
or
can
is
you
she
message that
contact?
to me, please? And I'll make sure I
I
reach
sure
out.
will.
Thank you very much. Yay. All right. I love that. That's like my favorite part of these events are the food trucks. Sorry. I love it. Okay. So if you would also, if you'd like to work the event, we are going to pay you your hourly wage if you work the event with us. Setup begins at 10 a.m. It's really just for those vendors who need a lot of time to set up, like our bounce house friends. They need to set up, and we got to make sure our playgrounds look beautiful because the children will be using the playgrounds, the families will be on the playgrounds, looking at our playgrounds. And so setup begins at 10. The event's from 12 to 3, and cleanup usually takes like a half hour because dismantling is much easier than putting everything pretty up together. If you have ideas for the event and you want to share them, you think they'd be great, please message me because I'm kind of out of ideas now. So. New hires, reminders for everyone else. I say this every time, but we're going to say it again. Please do not park in the front row at the front of the building. So you know where you pull up, parents are dropping off and then they're going to pick up. Don't park there, please. Please refrain. That is for the people we provide a service to. If you are a parent of a child who attends, please act as that parent dropping off at childcare or preschool and then going to work. So you pull up, you take your itty bitties out of the car, you drop them off in the classroom, you get back in the car, and then you go drive to a parking spot that is not in that front row. I know some people, I mean, I have 3 of them. If I brought all 3 of them, I would definitely need one of those spots. But to make sure that the rest is saved for everybody else who's also a customer, I'm going to drive over and go park somewhere else. So especially if you are a person who comes at that really busy time in the morning and you see people parking all the way at the house of breakfast. We don't want them bringing their 3 itty bitties or 4 itty bitties across the parking lot to the doors. So please make sure be considerate. You can park next to the second building where Cancun Mexican restaurant is. That's ours. I tend to park in between, if I get there before 9, between the 2 buildings and that row between the House of Breakfast and Cancun. There's like a row near their dumpster, and that one you can park there as well. So clock in at most 5 minutes before your shift starts, and then making sure that if you are dropping off those itty bitties of yours, you do everything that is personal task related prior to clocking in. So you got to walk in, drop your kids off. If you need to use the restroom facilities, if you got to make a phone call, whatever the case may be, then clock in, because as soon as you clock in, you are on the clock. You are ready to go work with children. So you may be pulled, grabbed, taken, whatever needs to be done, but that is the time that you are ready to rock and roll. So please make sure you get everything else done first. If you are a flex teacher, if you're new, we don't know about anything that you're concerned about or questions you may have unless you ask them. So if you're working with a specific teacher, you have these lead and co-teachers who have been guiding you. Feel free to ask them for clarification. Ask them for guidance. They are going to be guiding you by modeling, but they may not be someone who's going to stay on top of you because they entrust that you're going to observe and learn. So please speak up. Make sure that you are getting clarification on specific things, especially those complicated steps of hand washing and those complicated steps of diapering, because they are pretty specific. And when sanitation or state comes, They will watch and see if you're following those steps. So those are things that we really need to practice, and they should become automatic to you. Okay, reminders. Oh, I say this all the time. Lesson plans should be hanging and posted before Monday morning. If you happen to be ill Monday, you know your lesson plan is on that wall ready to go. It should be initialed by Ruby or myself that Friday. That Thursday is better, but if it's Friday, please make sure it's done. If you happen to not get it done for some reason by Monday morning, it's not posted, send it to admin. Send it so that we can print and make sure it's on your wall ready to go for whoever's subbing for you and your co-teacher. Menus, they will be in your mailboxes typically every Friday, and then they get posted hopefully before Monday morning, and you are making the edit. So sometimes Miss Pam doesn't get an ingredient or something she needs. You just cross it off on yours and write in what was instead on your sheet. The whiteboard should always be up to date. You should always know your count. So when a child comes in and they arrives, you've greeted them, you write their name on the whiteboard, and that way they are counted for on the whiteboard. When Miss Pam goes around and does lunches, she should see exactly how many children are in your room. And if you're the lead or the co, you are writing down what specifics, how many lactates, how many teacher lunches are needed for the room. So things like that should all be on the whiteboard and kept up to date. Please make sure you're plugging in those tablets and walkie-talkies each evening. We've had some walk away from the rooms and then we've returned, but sometimes they're left out in those outdoor backpacks, your emergency bags, and the battery's dead for the next day. So that's a huge bummer. And then you don't have a working walkie. So tongue twister. Okay. And something from the nap time list, which I will show you in a second, should be done each day. One task, two tasks. But if you're in there doing active rest, you have time to do at least one thing from that list, and that'll keep your classrooms neat, organized, and looking good, ready to go. All purses and phones, personal items should be locked in the closet. I really would prefer them in the closet locked than 5 feet up, because at 5 feet up, they're still in an accessible space. Something could fall out. Your phones are still accessible to you. Give whoever a loved one is for you, any emergency contacts, the main office number. We will run you that phone if somebody calls, because that way you know that it's getting to you. We will cover you. You go talk or do whatever you need to do on the phone. But if you have your phone and your smartwatch and you're consistently looking at it, that's a huge violation. And we have our cell phone policy, which we really don't want to put anybody on the spot, but there's only three parts of that cell phone policy, and the last one is not pretty. So please make sure that you are very conscious of the fact that you're not on your phones because you're with and engaging with your children. Supply list should be turned in by Wednesdays, and making sure that if you have a special request, I know some people like to message me, but man, I get hundreds of messages by the time the next week rolls around, and I can't find them sometimes when you write a special request for something to be ordered. So please write it at the bottom of your supply list. I've had Brittany is putting them in a file folder for me in the back office. So once I order something, it's in there and we can keep track of what's been ordered and who still needs what. If I can't purchase it for you, I will write or circle reimburse. So that means that you do have to go off and grab it if it's something weird and obscure from the grocery store, and I will reimburse you, but I just can't go to the grocery store for 15 different items from all these different classrooms when they're requested. But I can click on Amazon and order you things, or Walmart. So there are some things I can do. I just don't really want to go to the grocery store 10 different times each week. Okay. Reimbursements. Don't go on a shopping spree. They must be approved. So if you say, oh, I really want these special blocks from Amazon and you want to buy them and you buy them without asking, oh man, I might not approve it. So please ask first. This is the nap time checklist. It looks a little daunting, but it's really just very straightforward things that you probably already do all the time, but it's something that's going to keep a checklist for you, your co-teachers, and the flex teachers who join you. So if you are fortunate enough to have 3 people in your room during active rest, one person's really covering that lunch, and there's another person while someone's going to lunch, you have 2 people then in the room to do some tasks while you're rotating your lunch breaks. So please make sure you take a look at this. If you don't have a copy in your room hanging and in like one of those plastic sleeves or laminated, let me know. I will get you one, and that way you can just go through it. And usually once a month, you can do this whole list. And then the next month, you're ready to do it again. Guiding children to avoid injury. So I know this is, oh, Miss Barbie made, yes, she did. She made this list into a calendar to be used each month. I'm gonna thank you, Miss Barbie. I'm gonna make copies tomorrow. I'll put it in everybody's mailbox. She took the time to take everything from this and put it in a like a 30-day calendar without the actual month on it. So you can rotate the calendar and it's the same each month. So every day of the month has a task or two. And it seems very manageable when she did that. So thank you, Miss Barbie. Guiding children to avoid injury. We want to make sure that we put our hands flat on their back and guide them. If they decide to drop to the floor and, something crazy is happening, then we just allow them to drop as carefully as we can to help guide them. But we don't want to grab an arm when we don't want to try to pick them up abruptly because injuries can happen. So we want to just make sure we keep the child safe, but we also don't want to put ourselves at risk by trying to pick them up. So please don't pick up any child older than 2. Some of you probably not even the 2s because they get real big sometimes. So you just have to be wary of the child and their size and the receptiveness of you picking them up to console them. Some children just need a moment to flail on the floor. So you're going to say, I'm here when you are ready and your body is calm. You can take your body to cozy or you can stay right here, giving them those 2 positive choices of where they can be. Now, they may be screaming at the top of their lungs and can't hear a word you're saying when you offer these choices. So you may want to repeat it a couple times, or you just say it so that you know you said it. I will be over there when you are ready and your body is calm. And then you go over there and you're working with other kids, but you're keeping a side eye on that kid flailing on the floor, having their fit. If you need assistance, call admin. That's what we're there for. Admin to room blank. I would say admin assistance to room blank because then we know you need us instead of admin to room blank. Hey, can I have 5 extra cups? Like that's not a hustle to my room kind of situation. So admin assistance to room, whatever the case may be. And then we come much quicker. So I definitely suggest that you are careful with those shoulders and those nurse elbows. Those nurse elbows are nurses' elbows. I've seen lots of stories about those, and it's innocent. Like parents are swinging their kids and having a great time, and bam, the kid has a problem. So making sure that we are conscious of their body parts. And if they are resistant, we just tell them, we are here for you when you are ready. Because then we don't want anyone getting kicked. Nurturing behavior in even tones, making sure that we use those even tones. Say what you mean what you say, but it should be at a certain level. If you raise that voice, you're already we're in too high. So we're going to state it as if we're stating the color of our shirt. My shirt is blue, my hair is brown. Our feet go on the floor. So it's that even tone. You're saying it, you mean it, but you don't have to raise your voice to say it to them. And then stating it again, the expectation. You can give them their 2 positive choices in that tone. And if they're still not receptive, we say, okay, when you're ready, then we can make our choices. And maybe it's they can't go outside because they haven't gone potty yet. So you can call for admin assistance. We will come. We will either stay with the child until they decide, oh, I do want to go outside. I do want to follow directions. Then they go potty and they wash their hands and we bring them outside for you. Or you can build that respect and that rapport with them and we go outside with the other children. So it is up to you as the teacher how you want to proceed. You just have to tell it. And making sure when you see a child in the morning and they're coming into your room, you are greeting them by name. I know some of us like to use terms of endearment with our students. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Hi, little lady, how you doing? But greeting them by name. And if you're new to the school, this will help you actually remember your students' names and all the 200 students' names, but making sure that they feel special and valued. The parents know that you are valuing that specific child, their child. And maybe asking, so what'd you have for dinner last night? How did they sleep? Little questions like that just to check in when they're dropping off. And I know sometimes you're swamped, you're overwhelmed, you're giving these 5 kids breakfast, those 2 kids are walking in, that guy is running the water and playing in it over there. So I understand. Sometimes we just gotta say, hey, so and so, good morning, and then come on in and then keep going. So it is definitely, when the time allows for it, it is very meaningful to those parents when you invest in their child. You're showing them that you're invested, because obviously you do it all day, but the parents see drop off and the parents see pickup. They don't see the rest of the day unless you're taking videos and pictures and sending it to them. So to really make that morning drop off valuable and meaningful to them, and that pickup time, when you explain a little bit about their day, a lot of positives, maybe we're working on this. That's wonderful to a parent because they don't know otherwise unless you provide that information. Okay. And modeling what you expect from your students. So if you're asking them to do a task, maybe you need to model with them, for them, or you have a child who really struggles with it and they're going to be your model. They're going to show, and we're going to work together, and little Bobby's going to help me go through, and this is how we wash our hands appropriately. We use the paper towel to turn the water off, and Bobby's going to show us all how we do it. And guess what? Now Bobby's showing everybody how to do it appropriately, when Bobby may have been the one who was in La La Land dancing in the corner if somebody else showed it. So making it meaningful for those little itty bitties who might need to be involved, hands on, feeling special. Okay, this is up in the bathrooms because it's great reading material. But if you find yourself with the negative direction, so don't touch, don't stand on the chair, don't hit. We're, especially if they're 2 and younger, they literally hear hit, stand on the chair, yell. The negative in the front is rarely picked up by children who are that young. Developmentally, they just jump to the directive, they jump to that verb, and they're going to do it. So if you're able to state the expectation, we sit on chairs, sit on the chair, and then you might need to help guide them to sit on the chair. But they hear all the expectation while you're speaking with them. There's a lot of students who come to us who've never been in school before, and they come in as 4-year-olds, and they are not able to understand what the expectation has been set. So repeating it, modeling it like you would do for a toddler, that's what we want to do here. We want to state what the expectation is, model it, or guide them to do it. I know many of you already know this, but I'm just going to keep talking about it. Okay. End of the day, we have had some closing concerns, just making sure that the rooms are neat. The Sani and disc bottles must be dumped out in the kitchen and then refilled with new Sani and discs each evening, because the strength of the Sani and the disc, sanitizing solution and disinfecting solution, will increase if you just keep adding to this much that's left. So please dump the bottles out, refill them up, and then pop them back in the classroom. Soap is a different story. You can just take the soap solution and pour it into the soap spray. That's not an issue. If you do not know how to make Sani and discs to refill the jugs, that is something that we can train you on one of the closing afternoons. And that way you are well versed in how to make sure that everything is running smoothly in the afternoons. When the trash is in the hallway, it looks terrible to families. So if you have trash because you're getting ready to leave for the day, please keep it in the room until you are able to walk out with it. So I know after lunch, many people wrap up their lunch trash, which is awesome. Thank you so much. And then they take it with them when they go on their break. Please just keep it on the inside of the door. Some people keep it in the corner of the bathroom. Just don't forget it. But in the hallway itself, it could leak all over the hallway, and it just looks yucky when I see like 5 trash bags up and down the hallway waiting for someone to grab them. I wind up grabbing them, but just be aware that we want to keep the hallway clear. Thank you. All right. Our playgrounds, those kids, they can start cleaning up their stuff. Oh, we see cups everywhere. They flew everywhere. Everybody go get a cup, find a cup on the floor. And they're picking up all those paper cups, put them in the trash can together. You can make a game out of throwing them in the trash can and helping, but making sure that all that debris is picked up when you are done with the playground. And we've suggested that you take your trash bag in with you. So the next crew who comes out, they open their own trash bag and they are responsible for bringing that in with them after outdoor play. That way that we don't have to play the blame game of who forgot what trash. It was your trash. That was your playtime. You brought it in, put it in your regular trash bin, and you're good to go. Same with the afternoon. If you are closing that playground and you just brought kids over or you transitioned and you're combining, then get that trash bag and bring it so that you can dump it all together. And we're not leaving garbage out because that wind will pick those things up and blow them out everywhere. It is crazy. Okay, we talked a lot about supervision, just making sure that your body is in the room and your body is facing and engaged with students. We are not babysitters. We don't just sit and watch children. You are educators. You are working with kids. And we are fortunate enough to be well staffed and have 3 people in many classrooms when needed. So using everybody effectively and everybody has a purpose in the room, that is so meaningful. And you're going to see so much growth in your students because you're using your classroom effectively and your teachers effectively. So if you have trouble with this and you have a lump on a log in your room, please tell me and I will happily educate them on what they should be doing. So let me know. Okay. Sanitation. Oh, this is a big one. So I was watching some observational video and I noticed several classrooms don't spray their cots with Sani after nap when they're putting their cots away. Spray your cots. You just got to grab a cot, you put the sheets in the bag, spritz it, pop it on the pile. It has to be done. So please make sure you just put that into your routine. Either co-teacher, lead teacher, if you're lucky to have a flex teacher, rotate that job or have it as one person's job every day. That's what they're doing when they're helping to put cots away. The linens cannot touch only when they are clean, fresh from the laundry room. So they come to you in the laundry bag, you're separating them out. As soon as those linens are used that day, they cannot touch each other. I shouldn't see sheets sitting in weird spots all over shelving units. If you have extra sheets and they're clean, put them in your closet for the day that somebody has an accident. You will easily be able to replace that sheet. If you have too many extras, send them our way. We'll store them for you in the laundry room. But making sure that every set of sheets and blankets has a cot bag, and that cot bag sits on their cot, and then you just keep stacking them like that. So hopefully by the end of nap and when we're putting everything away, everything has a place. There's no sheets just randomly placed around the room. And your ages 3 and up, they can contribute. They can put their sheets on and they can take them off and stuff them into their bag. They just need to practice. I've watched several classrooms have their students do this, and it builds independence. So they are responsible for their nap items. Use your timers when you are doing diapering. Also, if you're doing pull-ups, when you have a poopy situation for pull-ups, you have to spray Diss on the sink and on the toilet after the poop. So you can't proceed with more pull-ups or bathroom visits until those 2 minutes have passed when a poop happens. Now, sometimes it's difficult to know who did number 2, but if they happen to be the one you just changed in a pull-up or they announced it to everybody, then it's obvious and just spray that Diss on there. When you're doing diapering on the diaper table, we want to make sure it sits for 2 minutes. So use those timers. We got you. Spray that Diss, 2 minutes. I put a clean paper towel on it. So whoever comes in or if I need to do something else, I don't forget, I got to wipe the rest of the Diss off before I put this kid on the changing table and their clothes turn white from the bleach. So make sure that you have a system that works for you. Your co-teacher and yourself and your flex teachers are working on quizzing each other. You can make it fun. You can, be a stickler about it, but making sure that those steps are followed through every time. Especially hand washing steps as well, because that taking your paper towel and turning off the water thing, it's not a normal thing. So we do have to practice it. This is the closer's checklist. Everyone knows it. Everyone sees it, hopefully, in each classroom, but they have not been getting initialed. And that's why we're having the issues at the end of the day. So please make sure that we are holding ourselves accountable. If you are asked to close a room, find this sheet and make sure you initial all the things you did. Some people are kind enough to write it on the whiteboards outside the room. This evening when I closed, that's what some teachers did. What's left to do? That's awesome. Thank you very much, because we didn't have a guessing game when the next person went in to finish the closing of the classroom. If you have additional items for your specific classroom, that might be something that you take care of before you leave as a lead or co-teacher, or you get it done early before you start welcoming children. Because if it's very specific, you can't guarantee that that flex teacher who comes in is going to know about it or do it each time. The 4 Bs: bite, bump, blood, and bruise. That's when we need to have our incident reports or our bite reports completed. If you are new and you have yet to complete one of these reports, please get some practice tomorrow, I'm sure. And sorry to say it, but someone's going to get a bump or someone's going to get something happening, and we can write an incident report in practice. Make sure you're only using blue or black ink. I usually only supply black ink. So make sure that you're doing its official document. All sections are completed. If you don't know how to spell the child's first and last name, look at the meal program form, look at the whiteboard, or look at ProCare. So you can just look them up that way. And you have to write their age on there as well. So that will be helpful from ProCare. Just the facts, no emotions tied in. You can't assume that a child was angry or that a child was frustrated. It could be visible to you that that's what it was, but we just want the facts. State what happened, and then we move on to explaining what we're going to do next time to prevent that type of injury. If you don't see what happened, we can watch video and replay it to ensure we are aware of what occurred. If the child tells you what happened, you got like 3 kids, oh, I mean, then they know what happened and you didn't witness it specifically, but the kid could have been tripped by accident. So when it's a severe injury or something that's concerning, that's when I want to watch video so that we know what to tell the parents and that we are accurate in our report. The incident reports come with the carbon copy. We keep the original as much as possible, and then the parents can keep the copy portion. And we want to make sure we snap a picture of incident reports and bite reports and send it to the family. So if you are a flex teacher in a classroom, you should be able to grab their tablet, click on the child, and then you're going to do an activity, and you're going to take a picture of the report so that it gets sent to the family, because then they're aware that it's waiting for them when they pick up. Because with the transition of children, they may have been moved to the other group. The lead and co-teachers are gone. The flex teacher doesn't know they had an incident that day and needs to have something signed. So at least the parent is aware that this will be waiting for them when they arrive to pick up. ABC charts are also something we use when we're working with IEPs, when we're working with children, maybe some families who have court disputes. So we want to make sure that they're filled out with just the observations, the antecedent, what happened before, like the trigger, the behavior, what they did, and the consequence, which is what actions did you take to support the child, or what actions did the child take for themselves? Maybe they're able to self-regulate. Okay. Tell me what to do instead. We already went through that. So I want to show you, and I did this about, can you believe it? I did this about a year ago, this video, but I think it's truly valuable and it's good for all age groups. Though it does say toddlers, this applies to all age groups, even school agers, because identifying the emotion and those different steps to help them regulate can come in all shapes and colors, but making sure that we take the time to teach the child what they're feeling so they can process it and then they can go ahead and self-regulate when they're older. This is a great way to transition children to being able to try their breathing techniques. That's star breathing. What do we do when we're frustrated? What do we do when we're anxious or scared? And so this is a short video, but I'd like you to watch it and then we can move on to one more thing that I want to show you. Okay.
Ruler is an evidence-based approach for integrating social and emotional learning into schools. Ruler is an acronym that stands for recognizing, understanding, labeling, expressing, and regulating emotions. Helping toddlers regulate emotions using Ruler. Building warm and trusting relationships with young children is foundational to creating an emotionally safe environment in early childhood classrooms. Ruler helps teachers create an emotionally safe environment by providing a framework for modeling and teaching emotional intelligence. In the following scenario, watch how a teacher uses Ruler to help a child regulate her emotions when she feels nervous about new people visiting the classroom. As you watch, look for evidence of ways the teacher is supporting Ella's ability to recognize, understand, label, express, and regulate her emotions.
Remember we looked at the picture yesterday? My friend was gonna come. We really wanted to see, but we couldn't start today. You want to touch it? Like puppy. It feels like puppy. Do you want to touch it? No, you don't feel like it? Okay. Okay. Want to just stay with it?
How many R-U-L-E-R skills were you able to identify in that clip? If you would like to learn more, keep watching. As you saw, Ella was feeling nervous about the new faces visiting her classroom. Watch how the teacher recognizes and labels Ella's feelings. The teacher then helps Ella understand the causes of her feelings as she describes to her what is happening in the classroom.
Remember we looked at a picture yesterday? My friend was gonna come. We really wanted to see, but we couldn't start today. You want to touch it?
Next, the teacher lets Ella know that the way she is expressing her feelings is okay.
No, you don't feel like it? Okay. Okay. You want to just stay with
Finally, the teacher uses a number of different regulation strategies to help Ella feel less nervous and to feel more comfortable having visitors in the classroom. Notice how she redirects Ella's attention to her classmates, uses a calm tone of voice, and holds and rocks her as she sings. The language and modeling teachers use with infants and toddlers lays a foundation for children to recognize emotions in themselves and others, understand the causes of their emotions, and develop vocabulary to label their emotions, ultimately helping children feel safe expressing their emotions as they learn strategies to regulate them throughout the day. You've seen how this teacher used Ruler to support Ella when she was feeling nervous. To solidify your learning, try to come up with your own ideas for other ways Ruler could be used to help Ella regulate her emotions.
Okay. Thank you for watching that one. And when you go into your classroom tomorrow, I ask that if you have a situation where a child becomes upset or distraught, that you're able to use the Ruler technique yourself. Now, not remembering the acronym is fine. It's just the process of it is important. Okay. So this one, also applies. I would definitely use it with ages 2 and up. This takes conscious discipline and applies it to a real world example for us to see, because we've been learning about conscious discipline, and I show you these videos of the mentors sharing the information, but we rarely see it in action. So I did show this a year ago, but I would like to show it again to you. It's a good refresher. It's a short one again. So when you're ready, here we go.
Okay, that's all of the puzzle.
Because our teachers teach self-regulation, our students are better able to manage their feelings.
That's a clown. No. That's angry.
They're better able to verbalize their emotions and what they're going through. They're ready to speak about their problems and not react to their problems. And by doing that, they're ready to go to their next level. If you looked into a typical classroom here at Educare, you're like, oh, all they're doing is just playing all day. They're just like they're having fun. But there's intentionality behind everything. One of the things that teachers focus on is self-regulation. I would say that skill set of self-regulation is actually the most important because you're setting that child up for success.
We've realized that if a child is not able to actually focus and manage and cope, then they're not learning. So conscious discipline is our research-based social emotional program that we use in the classroom. Conscious discipline isn't about managing behaviors, it's about giving the students the tools to direct it themselves.
I commit to use my big voice. I commit to listen to my friends' big voices. I commit to using kind words. I commit to keep my classroom safe.
Conscious discipline gives the students and the teachers the language to work through things. It's about using your words in a positive way.
So I was trying to tell you something. Can you listen to Elon's words? She's using her big voice. You are safe. You are not. You can handle it.
In previous classrooms that I've had, we didn't give them the means to articulate their feelings.
Can you show me how you're feeling right now? Angry, sad, happy, silly, and tired, and worried, surprised, and scared, and cranky. Which one are you feeling right now?
If you don't give them the language that they need, they can't communicate what their needs are.
Okay.
So when you give them those big words, they're like, oh, I'm not scared. I'm not mad. I'm frustrated. And they know that's nuances to how we feel and what we think. We're always telling them, use your words and not your hands. But what words?
Or I don't like when you grab my hair.
When the kids are able to say, I don't like it when you push me. Will you please stop? The other child knows what they did. And then you have a relationship building moment instead of a tension moment. If I do what I'm supposed to do when they're transitioning from early childhood to kindergarten, when they're in second grade, they'll be able to use these skills. And then they can share them with their classmates. In third grade, fourth grade, you won't have the disruption. You can just teach.
Remember, it's my job to keep you safe, and it's your job. What's your job? To stay that way. High five.
Thank you for watching. I appreciate that very much. Making sure that we're taking, and I will send out the conscious discipline resources again to you. We have a membership that I pay for, so the materials are accessible to you, and you can download them and print them, laminate them, use them in your room if you choose to. You can recreate them to suit your classroom's needs, but that way you're using those tools and you know how to use them in your learning space. If you want support from administration, I know Ruby and I would be happy to go in show you the tools and how we would use them, but everyone is different. Every teacher has a different style, and using the conscious discipline resources will look different in every room and each age group. But it is totally appropriate to use in the young twos all the way up to those school agers. It's just how they're used and the different materials, the level of the materials. You need a lot more picture cues for those 2-year-olds to visualize what those emotions look like versus the school agers. They probably just need the words written down and they just need to be able to understand what's expected, and then they're able to carry it out after 1 or 2 modeling sessions. But those itty bitties, they need constant support, right? They need that repetition in their lives so they can grow and they can be independent. Jeez Louise, independent in the way that they're able to regulate their emotions and problem solve. Because when we send kids to elementary school, the biggest compliment we get is that those children are able to self-regulate and they're able to stay focused and problem solve. So if we send them with those tools to kindergarten, they're set up for success. Kindergarten teachers can teach them all the academic portion. It's that that independence in themselves and that reliance on themselves versus the teachers to come help and solve each problem. So, and it's very important. And I greatly appreciate those teachers who are currently using conscious discipline or aspects of it and throwing it into their learning. So this is another one, but I'm not going to show it to you. If you'd like to go through, you have some children who have that anxiety during drop off or during transitions. This is a great video for you to watch. It gives you a real world example and you can try to bring it into your classroom and use the techniques that they show in the video. This lovely lady, she has making transitions fun. So when you have children standing and waiting to wash hands, standing and waiting to go outside, sitting and waiting for lunch, she has little activities that you can bring into your classroom. They're very silly, but that's what kids love. So if you need some fresh ideas, watch her video, get some ideas and bring them in, see if they work, try them out. We have teaching strategies guides in our building. I think I have 4 guides now, 4 teaching strategies guides, and they come with Mighty Minutes. Mighty Minutes are awesome. They are little snippets that you do during those transition times that are engaging for your students. You can use them for children. I have the teaching strategies for toddlers and twos also. So throw in those Mighty Minutes for your kids when they're sitting for lunch and waiting, that time that they're expected to be still. And you can engage them even if they're being patiently waiting. We can engage them because sometimes reading a book every day gets old. Sometimes singing the same songs every day gets old. So these little tips and tricks that you can throw into your tool belt, all the merrier with all of them in there. Okay. This is a free resource that I've been sharing with you, but tons of visual resources, supports for your circle time, small group, independent learning. If you have a child who's struggling with some social issues or emotional issues, they have books on grief and loss. If a parent is deployed, things like that are big changes in their lives and their little bodies and brains don't know how to really process it. So they're projecting their emotions in actions. So able to bring them back, read them this little social story. You can interject and put in their name for them, like in the turtle stories, Tucker Turtle, and put their name into it so they have some buy-in to the story itself. It's about them. It's about the things that they're experiencing, but it's teaching them how to deal with the events that are happening in their lives, supporting them through it. So this, I'll give you the PowerPoint so you can get all the login information and the link. You'll just be able to click it and get to the resource. Cox Campus has fantastic videos. Miss Barbie found me one for our professional development day that I want to show to our ITERS teachers. But if you just explore Cox Campus, they're all free classes, all free. They give you contact hours. So there's no harm, no foul in taking one. Try it out. If you're not a fan, you're not a fan. But the best thing about Cox Campus is that it gives you an actual classroom environment teaching about what the goals are in that class itself. So you get to see it And they're not just lecturing at you during a workshop. They're actually showing you what it looks like in a classroom. So I find it extremely valuable. You create a free account, you take the course, you get a certificate, and you get contact hours, and it's all for free. And these are the trainings that must get done by everybody. If you are new to us, you must do your health and safety in your first year. We prefer the first 6 months. And if you do your mandatory trainings, health and safety, and this recognizing and responding to child maltreatment, the next time we have an emergency closing, maybe there's going to be another snow day, who knows? You get paid for that day because you've completed all the required trainings. We wanted to find a way where we could pay you for a day before you became a 6-month employee. So I suggest you start taking those courses, getting your contact hours from them, and bringing Miss Ruby your certificates. If you have questions on how to access them, feel free to ask, but these are live links, so you just click them. Either you create an account or you use your Moodle, your NCID, and you can go in there. Oh, and Miss Ruby, right. She just created a beautiful PowerPoint with orientation material, step by step, how you go through these trainings. She took a lot of time to make it. The links are in there. She took screenshots of what you should be looking for when you're completing these trainings. So if you're new to us, definitely Miss Ruby will be able to share that with you. If you're up for your 5th year and you have to do these again, then you might want that PowerPoint as well because it's beautifully laid out. It's all there for you. Fire safety is an every year training. So if you're not sure if you did your fire safety yet this year, I know Miss Ruby keeps track of those things and keeps on top of you, but be mindful if it's coming up and you can just press play and go through the training that's on demand. An NC Feld must be done by everybody's first year. It's a great way to learn how to lesson plan. So it's extremely important. If you're going to become a co-teacher in a room, NC Feld teaches you about the standards that we use in North Carolina, how a lesson plan should be structured, and then you can build on that, using our different resources we have. CPR is taught mostly by Miss Ruby, and she does it once a month. She will remind you or tell you about it, that you have to take it if you are new or your time is coming to renew your CPR certification, but you do not pay out of pocket. That is why Miss Ruby and I are trained, so that you don't have to go spend $75 somewhere else taking the CPR training. We do it in-house. If you have questions or comments, please remember we have an open door policy. Many of you do take advantage of this, and I greatly appreciate that. If you come to us with something that you're concerned of, a question, maybe you had a concern and you just didn't think it would be important to bring it up, but then it starts to build on itself. So please make sure you address things when they're new, and that way we can support you through it. If you don't want me to help problem solve and you just want a soundboard, that's fine. I'd be happy to listen. And just make sure that you let us know, because Joyce always says, if we don't know that there's a problem, we cannot help you through it. We can't support you through it because we don't know it exists. So making sure that you're able to share that with us, and we can help you professionally at school to get through it and maybe make a change. Anybody have any questions for the good of the group? All right. I will send out on the Facebook message group. Now, if you're new to us and you don't have Facebook Messenger, I suggest that you download the app and we will text you the join link. And you don't have to have Facebook to do Messenger. From my understanding, you just have to have a Facebook Messenger account, and that's where we send all of our messages in the group chat. I will send the link to the PowerPoint, and when the YouTube video comes up, I'll send you the YouTube link. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me this evening. I will also have our raffle prize winners in just a little bit. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.